Our next unit in the personal finance, investing, and estate planning is that piece on estate planning. Estate planning is your detailed plan for managing your assets, the things that you have of value after you have passed away. The person who is going to get those things is called the beneficiary. And as you look at this, this is a strategy, and not to be funny or crass about it, but once you're gone, and you really don't have a say. So you need to, some people choose to leave a list or a voice and say, here's what I want done with my stuff once I'm gone, whether that stuff is property, whether that stuff is investments, whether that stuff is, family business or land or whatever it is. If you don't dictate or say what you want done with it, you would, say die unexpectedly, then there's a larger process that has to go through to figure out who's going to get your stuff. And again, not to be funny about it, you're gone, so you don't have a voice. And it's a pretty stressful time and an emotional time. And in turn, you may have, some siblings, some of your children or family, arguing over, well, I thought Dad wanted me to have this. Oh, no, I thought Dad wanted me to have this. Well, you're gone and can't really say anything about it, so it's kind of challenging. First is a term called a will. A will is a legal document of the person's wishes regarding who's going to get their stuff when they die. This document must be reviewed by an executor and then divvied up amongst the beneficiaries. So, I am the executor for my mom's will. When Mom passes away, it's myself and two other brothers. We have, Mrs. Clem, my wife. We have another brother whose wife. We have another brother who is divorced. So, things are not exactly 100% clean. But Mom has decided that here is the list of what I want done with my stuff when I go, whether it be items, the china cabinet, the whatever else it is that she has, her house, her home, property, lawnmower, four-wheeler, whatever she's got. She's got a list of, who should have whatever according to her wishes. It's my job as executor of that will when Mom goes to collect, all of the assets, divvy it up amongst the brothers or sister-in-laws or grandchildren or whoever is supposed to get whatever, pay all her final bills, send off a death certificate and collect any life insurance, and then divvy up, whatever money is left. So this legal document, a will, is my mom's way of saying this is what I want done when I'm gone. The executor, again, in this case is myself. That person is willing and able to perform the duties of the will. This includes inventorying the assets, collecting any money that would be owed to Mom. This would be paying off Mom's debts, so I do have access to her checkbook to do that in that event. Making decisions about selling or investing the assets to pay off debts as well. So if Mom has a pretty big bill at the end and she doesn't have enough money in her checkbook, it's my job to decide, okay, we're going to cash in this investment or sell this investment or turn this annuity into a lump sum payment or whatever it is to settle up the assets or the debts that she has and divvy up whatever's left. Next term we're going to talk about is a guardian. This is a person who would take care of minor children if, say, you and or your spouse would happen to die at the same time. At the taping of this screencast, my kids are 12, not quite old enough to take care of themselves, so we do have a will ourselves. Mrs. Clem and I, we've named an executor of that will, and we've also named a guardian who's going to take care of the kids until they turn age 18. So if something were to happen to us, they're not just out there fending for themselves. Someone is in charge of them. The guardian may also agree to manage some of the estate that gets passed through to the children. So it's more than just taking care of minor kids, but also some of the assets that are going to follow those children after, say, the parents have passed on. Next term we're going to talk about is something called a codicil. Codicil is a document that explains any additions or deletions from a prior will. Let's say, there's Mrs. Clem, Mr. Clem, and 2 kids, and let's say we choose to adopt, and we wrote our will up with just Max and Kendra getting 50% of our assets when we pass on. If we adopted a child or something like that, we would have to go back and either rewrite the will from scratch, or we could add a little codicil to say we're going to change it from 50-50 to 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. If it's a little bit later in life and we offered 50% to the boy and 50% to the girl, but later on they get married and have their own kids, we may make an adjustment to say, well, we're giving 50% to either our child or the spouse of our child. And other times parents may not choose to do that. They may say, no, I want to give my money to, or my assets to my children. I don't want to give them to my children's spouse. So it's your stuff. You decide how you want it divvied up when you're gone. To be valid, it must meet legal requirements for the will. If there's major changes, you should probably just start over and rewrite the will. Next term we're going to talk about is power of attorney. Power of attorney is a legal document that authorizes someone to act on your behalf in case you are injured or ill and cannot speak for yourself. Sometimes that is the same person as the executor, other times it's not. In our situation, like I said, I'm the oldest of 3. I'm the executor of Mom's will, meaning when Mom passes on, it's my job to get the brothers together and divvy up the stuff. My middle brother is power of attorney. So if something happens, Mom has a stroke and can't speak for herself, Mom's in a car accident and she's in a coma and can't speak for herself, Mom has dementia or whatever it is and can't make rational decisions herself, the middle brother is the one who would make those decisions for her. And he would talk with Mom ahead of time and if you're in that car accident, what do you want done? Do you want to pull the plug, or do you want to use every life-saving measure out there to keep you around? And that's Mom's decision, and the middle brother, it's his job to relay that decision to whoever it needs to be relayed to. Next term we're going to talk about is a living will. Living will is a legal document that tells people what you want done, again, in case you physically or mentally are not able to take care of yourself. Again, the power of attorney is the one who would exercise this or discuss this. It would also include organ donation and whatever measures you wanted to sustain your life or continue your life, or if there's something that's wrong and you don't want to be kept alive by machines, then again that's your choice, and that is something that would go in this living will. That concludes our investing and personal finance, investing, and estate planning. There are far more things involved, but these are kind of the bare bones basic ideas that you should have a handle on as it comes to investing and retirement and estate planning.